Hello everyone, I'm Tyrell Chambers. Thanks for tuning in to the Chambers channel. If you don't mind delicately tapping that like button, smashing the subscribe button, and tapping notifications so you could get some more of this content. So the people who invest in mutual funds or index funds are people that they don't really know what stocks to pick, so they play the safe game and say, let me invest in a mutual fund or an index fund. And I do think that a mutual fund or an index fund could be useful for people who have an aggressive investment style. Just, it all depends on how you invest in your mutual or index fund. So whenever I'm walking around the Bronx, people always ask me, Ty, what stock should I be buying? And the answer to that is always tricky, because how a company performs is always changing. Also, the average person doesn't have access to inside information about the company. They say buy low, sell high, but the average person also doesn't have the knowledge to know that timing. So many people choose not to invest because getting the knowledge can be so intimidating. But here's some good news. There's a way to buy stocks with a professional picking them for you. This is called a mutual fund. So what is a mutual fund? Let's start off with the definition of the word fund. A fund is a collection of stocks grouped together in one package. And a mutual fund is a collection of stocks picked by an expert. And this expert stock picker is what we call a fund manager. And the fund manager may pick these stocks because he thinks that they are high risk, high reward, or he thinks that they are safer investments. He also may pick these stocks because he thinks that they will bring you high dividends and high income. A mutual fund is a great tool because you don't have to do the work of picking stock. There are some drawbacks when investing in a mutual fund, and here's what they are. First, your performance depends 100% on how good your fund manager is at picking stocks. This is why it's important to know his track record and how long he's been doing it. Also, some funds can have an expensive buy-in or high management fees. It's important to pay attention to these fees because they can cut into your performance. If you buy a mutual fund, make sure you research its performance over time. Also, make sure you're aware of what the manager is trying to accomplish and the fees associated with the fund. Mutual funds are a great way to own stocks, but there's another way that some experts think that might be even better. We call this an index fund. We already know about the word fund. It's a collection of stocks contained in one space. So what is an index? An index is just a fancy word that means a list. So therefore, an index fund is a collection of stocks picked from a list and not an expert. And there are many indexes out there that list stocks by categories. The most famous index is the S&P 500. It is the list of the 500 biggest companies on the stock market. It is viewed by many as the quickest way to assess how the market is doing. You can buy index funds that simply hold all the stocks in the S&P 500. You can also buy index funds that use other lists. These lists include type of industry, real estate, or stocks that pay high dividends. There are some real advantages of buying index funds. The first one, many times, is that they can perform just as well or better than a mutual fund. This is because the market itself or an industry can do better than a human picking stocks. Second, because the stocks are picked from a list rather than a fund manager, you don't have to spend time worrying about his track record. All you need is the belief in an industry or the stock market itself. Third, again, because the stocks are chosen from a list rather than a fund manager, the fees are often much lower. Here's a useful tip. Either when you're looking at a mutual fund or an index fund, look at the fund's performance year by year and compare it to the S&P 500. This will give you a good way to see how the fund stacks up against the market over time. And finally, you can buy mutual funds and index funds in any brokerage account, and you also have access to them in your 401k or your IRA. Make sure you do your research before you buy. I hope this video was informative and helping you make the right investment decisions for you and your family to build generational wealth. So if you don't mind smashing that like button, subscribing to this channel, and hitting those post notifications so you could get more of this content.